Today I want to share 3 proven categories how high-performance teams prioritize their work. Your team is busy, but how do you know that the outcome is the maximum they can achieve? How do you prioritize your work knowing that 75% of your work should not be done at all? When you focus on the remaining 25%, how do you prioritize? The 3 categories are business value, dependencies, and risk reduction. And in today's video, we are going to deep dive into each one of those categories. And at the end, we are also going to talk about how to set up a workshop creating a ranking of all your features, projects, so you have a clear priority. And we do this in a quick and efficient way called magic estimation. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me yet, my name is Sven and I'm an Agile coach based in Austria. And on this channel, we are exploring how to make your teams happier and more productive. And today we are going to explore 3 ways how to prioritize your work. So let's get started. In another video, I already talked about that 75% of the work should not be done at all. So Scrum Inc. figured out that in their projects, 30% of the work people are doing are against the vision, the mission of the company and should not be done at all. Of the remaining tasks, Standard Group Data figured out that 64% of the features developed are not used by the customers. So don't work on them. That leaves us in total with 25% of the work where we should focus on. But how do we prioritize those remaining 25%? So first of all, we have business value. But what is business value? The number 1 answer is probably money. We are creating money with this feature, with this project, or we are saving money. But it could be something else as well. Like think about a wow factor or an increased conversion or impacted people. The second category could be dependencies. So you want to do this amazing project which will create massive amounts of money and business value for you, but you cannot do that before you have done other small projects or tasks or features. So then naturally those have a higher priority than the project because it cannot be created. The third one is we want to do risk reduction. And why is risk reduction so important? Often risk reduction can be done with a small amount of time invested to figure out that this or that solution is a better option for this project. And in Agile we call this often spikes, where we investigate for a fixed amount of time something to figure out and reduce our risk, because the opposite of risk is knowledge acquisition. And this is what we want to do with a spike. We want to create knowledge so we can massively reduce risk. And as those small investments of time are very highly valuable, often they mean that they are at the top of the product backlog. Now I'm talking about product backlog, and you've already seen maybe my other video where I talk about backlogs, and it's one of the things which is holding the pillars of Agile together. And the 3 pillars of Agile are transparency, inspect, and adapt. So we want to make our work and our projects transparent. And we do this with a backlog. Okay, so now we know the 3 different categories, but what is if we have like 10, 20, 50, 100 different projects or features? How do we prioritize and rank them? And in agility, we talk a lot about relatively sizing and relative estimation. And this is what we are going to use in a workshop format. I'm highly recommending to do a business value workshop. So when you start doing a business value workshop, I highly recommend you to start first with revisiting the agile landscape and where we are standing. For this, I'm always using Iceberg, and in there we have tools, we have the different frameworks, and we have principles and values. And the principles and values are below the surface. We cannot see them clearly, and I want to just briefly explain all participants what are the agile values and what are also the principles. So agile values are: we want to focus, we want to be courageous, we want to be open, we want to respect, and we want to commit to bring ourselves in 100%. What are the agile principles? And there are 12 of them in the Agile Manifesto, and I just want to pick 6 out of them to guide the participants of the business value workshop into the direction that focus and priority are very high. And this is what we are going to create. So the agile principles are: we want to have an iterative development, we want to be self-organizing, continuously improve, and we also want to collaborate with the stakeholders, and we want to have a working product all the time, and we want to prioritize to make our stakeholders happy and to maximize the value created. So here is the value included. Okay, and then I would ask, what is value for you, for your team? And then they are coming up with ideas what value is important for them. I also give them homework, so they will already come with all their projects, or if it's one project and we have a lot of features, with the complete feature list on big post-its, so we can use them immediately. Then I'm going to explain to them the magic estimation. And in the magic estimation, we have the whole team, we have a backlog with all the features or with all the different projects. We're going to use planning poker cards for making the difference which projects have more value and which have less value. Then the goal is to have a ranked backlog with highest priority at the top and lower priority at the bottom. Good, but how does now the magic estimation work? So we have people grouped around a table, and we have a specific setting. We have question mark, we have a bin, we have a 0 to infinity, and we have also the overview what value means for the organization. And we have here our backlog of stories. And then the first person will start and read out the first project, which is only a title. And either that person knows what is behind this project, or he asks into the round, who knows about this project, and tell us a little bit about it. So we all get some context delivered. And then the person places the user story where he or she thinks it's fitting. If it has low value, it's probably around here. If it has medium size value here, and if it has really high value, then it's probably around here. The second person who comes in has now 2 options. First option is the person takes another card and continues doing that, placing the card on the table where it belongs, now knowing the other projects. So higher value, it's more here, lower value, it's below the current task. Or the second option is the person disagrees where the card is placed and says, no, this has much higher value, or this has much lower value. And typically we would do this 2 or 3 rounds till every person has placed it, and after that we would introduce then the planning poker cards with the different numbers from 1 to 100, and people would cluster the projects or the features together in buckets. So saying like, those are all story 5 size business value. After that first iteration of 20, 30, 40 stories, we would also do a reflection, and we do a short retrospective with the team, thinking about, okay, what was good, how can we improve, and then we would immediately jump into the second iteration. And here you can also see a picture of one of the business value workshops I did, and you see the person who is holding the feature in his hand, and he's looking into the direction of the product owner, asking that person, okay, what is behind this feature? I don't know that one. And then the product owner is explaining, and they are placing the cards accordingly. We did this workshop around 150 different features, and we categorized and ranked them accordingly. Also with dependencies, where higher dependency were leading to a higher business value as well. And we were doing this in standing, and you can see this workshop lasted around 4 hours, that people wanted to sit as well. So maybe bring in some chairs. If you're doing it on site, if you're doing remotely, lucky you. And here you will also see how those features are all clustered into one number, which is the number 5. At the end, we also figured out that roughly 10% of the features of this product we are not going to do, or they have already been done, or they are not important anymore for the stakeholders, and roughly 10% of our backlog just disappeared by putting them into the bin. So what are now the results of having such a business value estimation workshop? So the results were that they really loved the collaboration and now better understanding the projects and features which are coming up, and also the business value of it. And the business people were more understanding the dependencies and also technical things which might have to be developed before starting to develop the real feature. And this workshop was an initial setup, and so we were able to do over 150 user stories for this. But they said they wanted to have more often this kind of meeting, this collaboration between business and the technical people. So how did that look like? We had this pile of features or projects. We were doing the magic estimation, bringing them into a ranking. Then we were thinking about how can we improve, and then we were starting the next round. And in total we did 6 iterations of this, always improving and improving. So in what categories are you prioritizing your work? Leave a comment below and share your insights with the community. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please leave a comment, a like, and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about how to make your teams happier and more productive. And now I wish you an enjoyable and productive time. Awesome. You're awesome. Magic estimation. Good. And done. Set. Ready to rock. Yes. Today I want to share 3 proven categories how high-performance teams prioritize their work. Your team is busy, but how do you know they are working on the things which really Your team is busy, but are they producing the maximum outcome possible?